Looks like we're live.
Looks like we are live. Okay, go ahead, baby.
All right. So, how did we transition into full-time RV living with a budget and a plan?
A really deep and thorough plan, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about what we did, the mistakes we made, and what we tell newbies now on how to prepare themselves to get a real, honest, detailed budget. Welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes. Long story short, we sold most of our possessions to pursue freedom, independence, and adventure.
Because life is so short, guys. And in this video, we're going to share our experience about how all the pieces that we put together to come up with our real life RV budget while we transition from moving from sticks and bricks into living full-time in an RV. They're two totally different lifestyles, and it took a lot of homework and a lot of research, and I credit Mercedes for most of this because she is that type of a person that has spreadsheets and lists, and when I finally talked Mercedes into considering this lifestyle, the massive change it was going to take, she made me promise that I would keep notes, that I would share those notes with her, and we would have a solid plan. Not only a plan A, but a plan B. And now we tell people that you should actually have 3 plans when you're starting to put together your budget. You know, the ideal life that you'd like to live, the middle life, and then the bailout plan, right? It's not working out, the income's not working out. And so we're gonna share our experience of what we did, how much, you know, how many months in reserves we had in the bank. And we're hoping that this video helps anyone who's considering, you know, making that transition from the full-time RV living lifestyle.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about here, and I think that you can't just isolate the budget. You have to talk about the plan and the action steps. And so we're just kind of sharing everything that we did and all the phases of it. And so unlike some lives where you might just like interact with the audience, we actually created an outline of everything we want to talk to. I mean, we're still going to interact.
Yeah, we are. We're going to take questions at the end.
Weird.
And if you have experience and we don't cover something, then please, you know, leave it in the comments section. This video is going to run all week. And so any information you can add to the comments section that we missed or an experience you have with full-time budgeting, please remember the RV Odd Squad is one of the most helpful helpful and giving communities, we think, on YouTube, and we've learned most of what we've learned about RVing through the RV Odd Squad. So check out the comments section, and most of the videos we do, guys, you're gonna find the best information there.
Yeah, and I think that this all came about because, you know, we've had a freebie for a spreadsheet for a while, and all of a sudden people have been downloading that freebie like gangbusters.
Mad, like over 300 downloads last week.
Yeah, in 1 week, which is not normal for us. So we're like, okay, people want to talk about budget, and I think that with, you know, the coronavirus and you're staying at home, it's like you want to have a plan, right? And you're thinking about what could be, and that's kind of the outline that we have too, because there's 3 phases of what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the starting with what you're at from where you are, getting to the actual plan, and then the in between.
Right.
You know, so if we start with the piece about where you are, what you have, you know, it's the list building, and a lot of it has to do with notebooks. And
exactly.
This was a big one for John because he's the kind of person that if you call him and give him a phone number, he'll write it wherever he sees. And he won't even label what the phone number is too, right?
And when I was a younger man, I ran my businesses. It was all up here. I memorized everything. Well, things are changing now. My memory isn't quite what it used to be, so Mercedes has trained me well in making lists.
Train him. Well, and the big thing is just like picking one notebook, you know, like just having one place where you write everything that has to do with a specific topic. And when you do that, especially when you're looking at RVing, there's so much you're learning. And so the making lists is a big one. And really even start with making a list of your possessions, like what you have.
Yes.
Make a list of your assets, like, you know, how much money do I have and what can I afford? What can I afford?
What we're talking about is an honest inventory, not only for yourself, but for your partner if you're doing this together, right? It's teamwork. And we benefited greatly from our teamwork. It's brought our marriage closer together.
Yeah.
It's brought our relationship closer together. But what it's really about, it's having a plan. And what we did when we started out was we started writing down all of our assets and all of our liabilities. We had multiple lists built, right?
Yes.
What we needed to sell.
Well, our possessions.
Right, all of our possessions, what we wanted to sell, what we wanted to keep. Things that we wanted to keep, we knew that we would have to pay to store those things, so that was plugged into our budget. Things that we didn't want to keep but we wanted to sell, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, because what you want to do is, as far as the money goes, you want to have the list of like the assets and the liabilities, and that's really important because some things are not going to change just because you're in an RV, so you really have to get honest with yourself about that.
Really honest.
And then as far as the list of the possessions you own, some of these things you might end up selling in order to offset the costs that you're going to incur while RVing.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, if like we had a boat to sell, right?
Right.
Well, a boat is not like a candy bar in that it's an item that you buy quickly on the spot. Like a boat is not an impulse buy, at least not for most people.
Yeah, and I ended up selling it for 60% of what I had purchased it for 3 years earlier. So we did pretty good in the boat.
We did, but we had to plan because you can't control when the boat's going to sell. You can't
Exactly.
control when the car is going to sell or something like that. So
which is another really important point. You need to give yourself as much time as you possibly can to start the planning process.
Yeah.
Right? You need lots of time to be thorough and to start downsizing from your sticks and bricks into, whatever size RV that you're going to buy. It's a huge transition. So the longer we gave ourselves, I think it was 3 or 4 months, and we would almost suggest you take 6 months.
Yeah, and I think that I saw a comment, things are not assets. Well, they can be. Like how much the things you own can either be an asset or a liability.
Right.
It really depends on you and what you're doing with it. Are you using it? If not, then it becomes a liability. And what does it sell for? And so another list that we made was all the things that we wanted to sell and how much we wanted to sell it for, because then as time went on, we were able to lower the price.
Yes.
So by having it on the market longer, we were able to keep our prices a little bit higher, as opposed to, we're full-time RVing in 2 days, we got to sell everything.
Yeah.
We'll take what we can get.
And we use Craigslist and we use Facebook, and we
was
put
tricky.
those items up, and it's a pain in the butt when you're doing it because you
Yeah.
get a lot of phone calls. Some people just don't even show up.
Yep.
But that's a whole nother video and a whole nother topic.
Exactly. But the reason that's so important is because those funds can actually help you offset that. But I think the other list that you need to make, or just really focusing on where you're at, is what's your current living situation. Are you currently renting? Are you currently owning? Because if you're renting, when does your lease expire? Because
Right.
that could determine timing.
You may need to negotiate with your landlord.
Exactly. And if you own, then you have the decision of do I put the house on the market?
Or do you rent?
And if you put the house on the market, that's something you can't really control necessarily when it's going to sell. So that's another thing that will impact the timeline. So it's almost like you make a plan, but you write it in pencil.
Right. And here's the bottom line on this, guys. For every RVer, there is a different budget. Everybody's got to figure out what their personal budget's going to be.
Yes.
And so when we did our last video on budgeting, we had some really nasty comments about, I can't believe you spend that much money. Well, Mercedes and I were honest with ourselves, and we knew what we needed to live the lifestyle we wanted to live. And I knew Mercedes needed hookups, full hookups.
I like hookups.
She likes hookups, and
At least
so
most of the time.
I knew we needed the biggest RV we could possibly get if we were going to live in it full time. So that's the way we went. So, try not to judge somebody's budget. It's just their budget. It's just the way that they do it.
Yeah.
We have heard of people living this lifestyle for as little as $750 a month.
Yeah.
That's not us. We would
Yeah.
never, we personally could never really live like that, especially with a child.
I mean, you do whatever you got to do, right?
Right. But some people might love that lifestyle, being
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere, BLM land, it's not costing you anything, and you can keep that budget low. For us, it's just not realistic.
I know, because if you were like when you were in your 20s and
Right.
you had your first RV, he would have been fine $500.
I never would have came back.
He would have been fine, like just me and the dog, and he would have been fine on his own in his 20s, right? But like, if you have a family and things like that. And so I think that once you have everything as it is, honestly, and no one's gonna look at your notebook, so don't worry, just get as
Right.
honest as you can. Then you can transition into the what do I want phase. Like what do I want this lifestyle to look at? And you're gonna see, I mean, especially on YouTube, which that's so much fun watching YouTube together. It brings us closer. you're gonna see some people that live on BLM land and that eat mostly peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Right.
And then you're gonna see other people that, you know, only stay at RV parks with swimming pools.
Right.
So it's like,
And then you got those who only do luxury resorts. Guys, you can spend $250 up to $500 a night to RV in a Class A in some places in Florida. So those of you who think that we spend a ton of money, we're not. We're somewhere maybe in the middle.
exactly. And it was funny because we got insulted, like, you spend too much, and then some people are like, oh, you know, this could easily be more. And that's the thing, is like just removing the judgment, because
Yeah.
it's just about, like, we all have fingerprints that are different, our lifestyles are different, our perfect RV is different.
Right.
So
And everything's subjective. It's
Oh,
different
yes.
for everybody, you know,
Yep.
and that's why when we do our budget, we only did our budget. We didn't get into our personal stuff because that's so subjective. What foods you eat,
Yeah.
right? What type of insurance you have.
Yeah.
All that stuff, that's subjective, and it's going to be different for everybody.
So while you're in the phase of like what you want to have happen, there's a couple things that I think that you should do is make a list of all the things you need to start up. There are tons of videos on like things you need to buy, but be careful.
And it's fun.
Be careful.
It's a lot of
really
fun.
fun.
It's exciting. I need a generator, and I need this camera, and I need this electronics, and I need this TPMS system. And I had a list that was a mile long, and it was
Yeah.
like $15,000. And I told Mercedes, we got to have this stuff. We got to have this stuff.
The drone. He's like,
I got to have a drone.
if we're gonna RV, I have to have a drone. He was seriously like that, and so that's something that you really. What I recommend doing is build the cart on Amazon. Just don't hit buy all. You know,
Yeah,
the save
yeah.
for later on Amazon is your friend.
Yeah.
You
So
don't
build
wanna
that
buy-
list of what you need to start
Yeah.
RVing. Start building, start getting out and start looking at RVs. Get on them all. Get on Class A's, B's, C's. I mean, the more you get on, the better idea you're going to have of what you're going to need for your family, because again, it's different for everybody.
But
Go ahead.
a big mistake that we made was that we would hit the buy all in the cart a little too much, because knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have bought so much until I actually needed it.
Yeah, we've been doing this coming up on 15 months, I believe, and we
Mm-hmm.
still have not used. There's still products that are in the box since we started out. So one of the things that we would do differently is we would have the necessity. So
Yeah.
have your list of all the things that you want, but remember, you don't need all the bells and whistles. You only need what you need to get started. And what we know now is that as we went through RVing, we learned of things we needed, and we found out more about products that we definitely wanted to buy.
Yeah, and knowing what I know now, at the time it's hard because you're like, well, how do I know what I need and what I don't need? But we've got Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, Walmarts are everywhere, and they typically have a decent RVing section.
Yep.
And so, knowing what I know now, big word of caution is, unless this is like a power surge protector, because that you do absolutely
You gotta have
want.
it. You should have a TPMS if you're
Yeah.
pulling a large rig behind you.
But as far as like the fun stuff, like the tent and that sort of stuff,
Right. Well,
you could
we
wait.
didn't buy the clam tent until we were about 6 months in, until we got into Yosemite. So
Yeah.
that was a purchase that we didn't even realize that we needed. You know, we picked 5 YouTubers in the beginning, and we watched them constantly, all their stuff, and we just learned. We consumed the information, and we made our lists.
And you know, it's funny. This nomadic idea just threw something out there. He said, I
What's
think.
up, Scotty?
Yeah, he said, I think building a list of what you don't use is good also.
It's so true.
And that was one thing I forgot to say, is that when you go through your day, almost inventory what you touch. Like, do you touch 7 coffee cups or
Right.
just 1?
Right.
You know?
We've got 3 coffee cups in our rig right now, right?
Yeah. And it's nice having the 1 extra because we have the big kitchen in the room for it.
Right.
But if we were in a smaller RV, it would just be like, how many people? That's how many cups you get.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, if you start looking at your house more objectively of like, what am I walking by and not touching every day? And what's the cost of having the stuff that I'm not touching that I just get to look at and paying rent for that?
Right.
It's going to really change what you... And the other thing is, don't think you're going to change that much. I kind of thought that when we went out RVing, I was going to become a scratch baker and bake like home baked bread every day. And I was going to be in really good shape. Like, I was going to bake bread every day and have 6-pack abs. The two go hand in hand. And I was just going to, you know, it was going to look like an Instagram picture, you know, my toes in the sand and laptop, and it would be so easy. So really being honest with yourself about that.
Mhm.
Chances are, whatever your lifestyle's like now, it's not going to change that much.
Exactly. One of the biggest things I struggled with was I had to make a list of all the tools I needed. And being a contractor my whole life, I thought I
I
needed
need everything.
all of it. You know, so that was a hard deal for me. Mercedes, with a lot of the things that were in our house, the intangible, she felt like a connection to those things, and
I was emotionally
she
attached.
was emotionally attached. I was emotionally attached to my tool. So again, just build lists, build lists, build lists.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is like then as far as the budget goes, I think you almost need 3 budgets. The first is the startup cost, what you need to invest just to do it. And then the second is like the worst case scenario. If it was like PB and J time, what would that look like?
Right.
And then like best case scenario.
The ideal way that you really want to RV, and we had 2. We would tell people to build 3 plans now. So 3 separate budgets as far as what you want to do. One included 1,000 Trails membership for us because I mean when we use the 1,000 Trails membership, it keeps our nightly cost down under $10 if we use it consistently. Consistently. If you don't use it, don't buy it. You know, and so and then we had another budget if we had to go BLM. If we needed to go on land that it was free to camp, you know, we knew that it would be a little bit rougher living. Not for me, I would have loved that.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
Mercedes would not be fine.
Not so
and
much.
Yeah, so we had the 2 lists, and then the other thing that we did was we got a good idea of once we finally got our complete budget completed, we took 1 year of savings and we put it aside. And Mercedes and I wrote on the bottom of this list, we said to each other, if you know, because we knew we were starting a YouTube channel, and we knew that we would need to have income to support the lifestyle that we wanted to live. And we gave ourselves a year, and the reality is we hit that goal. We made enough money. Now our budget did cost a little bit more than we had originally expected, and certainly things didn't go exactly as planned because it's life. They don't go. Life will throw curveballs at you. So, you know, it's just a good idea I think the more budgets and lists you have, the more options you can see. And then the bailout plan, right? If things don't go well, if we had started out, we got 11 months in and we were only bringing in $1,000 a month with our YouTube earnings, we'd be in trouble.
And that was the risk that we took.
That's the risk.
We didn't just roll the dice in changing our lifestyle and not knowing how much the lifestyle was going to cost. We rolled the dice in like, and let's start a new business and not know how much it's going to make.
Exactly.
So that's something that was definitely
rolling the dice.
And so we had the plan like, okay, we're estimating high on the high end 1 year's expenses, and if that doesn't work, he's strapping on a tool belt.
I'm starting a new business. I'm going back to get licensed, get my contractor, put all that stuff in, and so that's what I promised Mercedes that we do. You know, and a lot of people out there think we're rich. We're not rich. We've never been rich. We've just we sold our company in Colorado almost 6 years ago now, and we had some money to live for 4 or 5 years and enjoy different lifestyles. And this is ultimately the RV living lifestyle is the one we picked, and we love this lifestyle.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's you know, the exploration is great, the freedom, the independence, the adventure. We found what we were looking for, but we had a plan, and we also had a bailout plan, knowing that if we didn't hit it, we couldn't afford this lifestyle, then we would bail out.
And I think the other thing too is that part of the plan is emergency funds in the sense of like what happens when things go wrong. So like for example, when we were at the beach in Pismo and all of a sudden we had a $375 tow bill.
Right.
That was like, excuse me.
That wasn't in the budget, but we did have contingencies for that.
You have to plan like a breakdown. Plan a breakdown, like plan for it, not just the emotional one and the mental one. Like really plan for the RV to have issues because
yeah, go ahead.
Well, RVs are like boats.
They are. And the other thing I would suggest to you is don't plan on trusting that your warranty is going to be great. Know that you might have to come out of pocket for something that should be warranted from whoever you purchased your RV from. Because sometimes these things can take months to get fixed. We've heard absolute horror stories.
Yeah, and we certainly have.
So have a plan.
And then, okay, so now we've talked about what you have. And then we've talked about what you want. So now let's talk about the in-between, right?
Right.
Getting from where you currently are and being brutally honest with yourself about it. And then also to getting to where you want to be. And we have, okay, this is kind of like our little secret. But, I feel like a lot of people, I don't know. I hope you guys don't judge us.
Our vision board.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see the writing on this.
No, don't look at the writing. That's like But this has squares on it. John really likes graph paper, and so yeah, don't read
this
it.
is our
Don't
vision
read
board.
it.
We
Don't read
actually-
it.
We stuck this up in a portion of the house that was right in the center of the house. We still do it today.
Yep.
We sit down for an hour a week and we envision where we want to be, what it's going to take to get there, how much money we're going to need to reach all of our goals. And we pretty much mind map that. And I'll write on it and Mercedes will write on it. And you know, and then we also meditate about the future that we want, you know, and it's worked really good so far.
And I think the other thing is like, paper is your friend. Like, vomit everything that's in your head onto a piece of paper, and don't judge it. Just like get it all out, because what that's going to do is that then you can take what's there and kind of turn that into a plan. And I feel like what I like doing with the board and having that kind of board in a predominant place where you can see it on a regular basis is that then, you know, you're sitting down. Ours was right by the dining room, and so we'd be having dinner, we'd look at it and we'd be like, oh hey, we should lower the price on the boat. You know, it's been up for this amount and it hasn't sold yet. And then so everything would be there, and then I would organize it into like categories. So first you just like vomit it all down, then you do another one that's like a more in order kind of thing. But by looking at everything on paper, there's just something magical, I think, when you write something down that you can bring it about in your life, and that really creates the task list.
Right.
Because then it's like, well, what do I have to do? What does that action really look like?
Another list.
It is another list, but I think it's, you also kind of want to get lists in order. So for example, when we were selling our stuff, we did not put our bedroom furniture on the market first thing, because we were still using our bedroom furniture.
And we actually sold it a week before we needed to, so we ended up sleeping on the couch for the last week.
And when we were buying the RV, one of the things that we did was kind of take our time transitioning the stuff into the RV so we knew what fit. And so having that little bit of playtime, we were able to really figure out what we had to sell, because we were already putting stuff in the RV.
Right.
What ended up happening in our case was we had warranty, like nickel and dime stuff that hadn't
That
gotten
were caused by the dealership.
exactly. And so so that was kind of a big learning curve that you can plan, but then, you know, we definitely were sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I would add, guys, is we you know, being that we answer all of our comments, you know, it's getting a little harder for us as we start to grow even bigger. But the ones that break our hearts are people that got so excited about this lifestyle, right? They're watching the videos. A lot of videos only talk about the happy moments, not the, you know, the tough moments. And they get kind of sucked into the idea that I'm going to make it work, even though I don't have the income, even though I don't have the funds or the resources.
Don't have a plan.
And we've gotten dozens of emails of people that sold their stuff, moved into an RV with 2 or 3 months of backup funds, thinking they were going to hit the road and make money on the road. And it's devastating, because guess what? What do you do then? So always have a plan B. And, you know, the other thing I would suggest is, what it is going to help you do is get really honest. If you build these lists and you build the budget, you can at least have a goal to hit.
Yes.
Maybe you can start the full-time RV living lifestyle in the next 6 months or year, but you can start to work towards that goal. We have a lot of people in the RV Odd Squad that are planning this lifestyle 3, 5, 6 years out, 7 years out at their retirement, and we work with those people and tell them, you know, what they need, you know?
Yeah.
And so just, you know, make sure you have a solid plan and a solid budget. You don't want to go out on the road RVing full time and have to make money doing it. I cannot imagine how stressful that would be.
Yeah, I mean, and especially to have the pressure. So we get contacted a lot by people that are like traveling nurses, or maybe traveling in construction. And so there's certainly some excitement to that, to think that, oh, if there's a storm in this state, I could just drive there and put on a tool belt and work there. But what's tricky about that is that you have to have such a good contingency plan in case that doesn't happen. And while there are people that do negotiate with the place that they're staying at, and maybe they trade rent for labor and that sort of situation, you really don't have it in hand until it's actually there. And then the other thing, back to being honest about to yourself, how often do you want to be traveling? Are you in the RV lifestyle because you want less, or are you in the RV lifestyle because you want to move?
Right.
We kind of wanted both. We want to move and we wanted less stuff.
Right. We wanted to see as much of the country as we possibly could, and we wanted less stuff.
Yeah, and so some people are in the RV and are going to be more stationary longer term, and that's something that really does help the budget because it's less gas, because the diesel when towing is really high. The other thing is it depends on the region. I mean, in
California gas was $5.25, and down in Kentucky when we had first left, it was just under $2 a gallon for diesel. So the price can double, triple. A gallon of milk in California, where we were staying in Yosemite, was $12 a gallon.
Wow.
It was ridiculous, and so that's going to have a big impact on your budget as well.
Yeah, we had to stop eating beef jerky because I couldn't justify like $20 for a bag of beef jerky. I was like, no, I'll just go without. I'll do something different. And so all of those things are really going to impact. And I think especially with the whole coronavirus thing, it's really shown the importance of having a plan B.
Right. What if you were
Being
one of those
flexible.
people who plan on being in state property or government property and they shut those places down? What do? We know of a lot of people who are parked at friends' houses out in the, boondocking in their driveway, mooch stalking. All over the country this is going on. So just have a contingency plan for everything. The coolest thing about having the plan and the budget in the early stages, it's exciting. We had so much fun. That was kind of so much fun looking forward to the lifestyle and working together. But just know it's life. Life is never going to go as planned. It's always going to change. And just always try to have a backup plan for that. So I think we covered everything.
No, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
This is kind of like
we want to open it up for questions.
Yeah,
here.
we do. Questions in all caps, please.
Yes.
So sometimes the first RV that you get, you're gonna realize later that you want a different kind of layout. So if you're in a position where you can't do this for more than 5 years, I would challenge you to look at it as a good thing because you have time to downsize and really reduce stuff. You have time to really to really have a solid plan, and you have time to maybe have a smaller RV just for weekends and practice and learn what you really like. So if the plan is going to be delayed, don't look at that as a bad thing necessarily.
Yep.
All right.
So ready?
Questions.
So first off, can you guys do us a favor and give the video a thumbs up? Leave a comment in the comment section about your experience with budgeting. And share the video if you possibly can. For some strange reason, since the coronavirus, our numbers have taken a pretty good hit, and a lot of our students are telling us the same thing. So
it's not just us.
It's not just us. Yeah, a lot has changed. So give it a thumbs up, and so that Google will serve it up to more people, and hopefully we'll make a little bit of extra money on advertising.
Yeah. So one good question that we have right here is does the size of your rig limit the places you can go? And it absolutely limits the places that we can go.
From what we understand is you want to have a rig that's under 27 feet long if you want to get into all state parks and just about all national parks.
Yeah, so that's a big one right there.
Yep.
Another question. Our apartment lease is up at the end of July. When should we transition to buying our travel trailer? We love watching you guys. Okay, so that's a personal question depending on your situation, but I'm going to ask you a couple of questions to help you decide what works for you.
By the way, hello, Joshua and Ashley.
Yes. So my question to you, because ideally if you could have the travel trailer and kind of still have the apartment and move into it slowly, even if it was just a month of like getting to practice, that would be nice. Does your budget allow for that?
Right.
Do you have a place where you could store the travel trailer while you transition? Would your landlord let you go month to month if you had that kind of a situation where maybe you needed to? And do you have a plan? Like, is this a case where you have the money already like planned, you have the income, or are you starting a new business?
Right.
I would really recommend you have about a year's reserves.
Have a year's reserve
Before you take the plunge. So assuming you have the year's reserves, assuming that you can get the travel trailer a little bit before you set off, because the other thing too that I didn't realize, this is huge. So the manufacturer makes the RV, and then the dealer will pick it up, and then it could be at the lot for a long time and it gets moved a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe like a little piece of trim has fallen or something like that.
We believe that most of the damage that happens to RVs
Is
are at
after
the dealership.
purchase, yeah.
Because we've visited the Forest River plant, we've gone through the tour of it. We got some really cool footage of a drone shot while it was running full capacity, and they have, I think, 10 different PDIs where they test everything and make sure. And then when the dealerships that they're sold to are picked up, they sign off on it, and then these rigs can sit at these dealerships for 6, 9 months, sometimes a year, getting pounded, before the new buyer actually purchases. So I don't.
Well, no, it's true. So the reason we're bringing that up is because I mistakenly thought that I was gonna buy the RV and it was ready to go.
Right.
Like we signed the dotted line and it'd be ready. Because like if you buy a Honda, like you buy it and you don't take it back.
Not typically.
Like you drive off.
Right.
It's not the same with RV. So if you can have a little bit of that buffer time, because you're gonna have your first camping trip and maybe there's an issue you want to have taken care of before you set off.
Yep.
So that's what I would encourage you to strive for in your plan.
Okay.
All right. So
I'd
next
say hi to some
question.
people: Clayton Vogel, Tommy Bolton,
Yep.
Rebecca Nostrand,
And Randy's
Clam.
Adventures.
Hey
is
Randy,
here.
Steve Lucia. Hey buddy.
Yeah, we got a lot
Cinco Lara.
of people here.
Cool.
Okay, would you take your big rig BLM Lander off-road-ish?
I would, and I've taken the rig into some hairy places that Mercedes doesn't typically like, but I've got a lot of experience and I've been driving trucks for a long time. So before I would drive into an area that looked a little, I call it hairy, I would actually get out and walk the truck. You've seen me do this. I'll go out in front and I'll walk out up to a quarter mile and see. You got to know your rig well enough to know what it can get through and what it can't get through. Also, as far as dips and holes, you don't want to bottom out your RV and do serious damage to it. The other thing to consider is when you're going into tight areas, the trees, the branches, it might look like you can get through there, but you need to move around a little bit, and you're going to get a lot of scratches down the side of your rig. So just it's up to you. It's a judgment call, really. We know some people that go out into the desert of Arizona, and what they'll do is they'll get to a spot, they'll send up their drone, and our drone can, I believe, fly 6 miles from where we are. And so you can actually send the drone out to kind of survey what the area looks like and what you want to get into and what you don't want to get into, guys. And so always make sure that you have tow insurance. Always, it's cheap money. It'll pay for itself with one tow, and make sure that you know your rig.
All right, so Steve put in all caps, the Winnebago Micro Mini 5th wheels are 26-foot, 7-foot slide out. So I don't know if that was a question, but it is in all caps, so I'm reading it.
Yeah, and Steve knows RVs.
Okay. So Jenko Lara, have you had any leaking issues with any of your slides?
Nothing. No,
Yeah.
we've been very blessed. I mean, we bought our Forest River Sandpiper. Our first one was the Sandpiper LOK, and we had zero problems with it outside of the issues that we had where we purchased it. There was some damage that was done by the dealership, and we ended up fixing that stuff ourselves, biting the bullets because we didn't want to deal with the headaches. But
It just wasn't getting done.
in our first year of RVing, I believe it was 14 to 15,000 miles. We had zero problems except for 2 tires that broke, and so we stuck in the forest. We consider ourselves part of the Forest River family, and no, they don't pay us. We
They
just
should,
love.
though.
They should.
They really should.
But we love Forest River products. We've been to the plant. We've met the families. We know the people.
Yeah.
And they don't build things to break. They really work hard to make their products good. And like I said, I believe a lot of the damage happens when they leave the plants and then when they sit on dealership lots for a long time.
And they get moved around.
When you're gonna buy an RV, buy it through a small company dealership that you know is gonna be able to service. A lot of dealerships out there just want to sell, and then when you bring your rig back to get service because you bought a month ago, you're in the back of the line.
All right, so Marty has a question. He's like, should I have my honeymoon on a rented RV? Just kidding, you can skip this one. So poor Marty, they were going to get married and then the coronavirus got.
Yeah.
And actually, I do recommend renting an RV, but we actually have a link. RV rentals that are like a bunch of them, like a fleet. And I feel like the fleet isn't going to be taken care of as well as like when we rented from Mike, and he's like, take care of our baby, and we
Yeah,
rented the
it's
van.
all about who you rent from, and
Yeah.
we love RV Share because they on their website you can look at the rigs that you might want to consider. They give them stars. You can read reviews by customers who have used them. You know, RV Share it only handles the transaction. They're the intermediary.
Yeah.
And so who you're really renting your rig from is the owner of the rig. And so, you know, go look at it. Talk to them if you can. Send an email out. Ask questions and make sure that they take really good care of their rig.
Yep. All right. So let's see a couple more questions. Would you go? Let's see. Okay. So Josh and Ashley do have a place where they can park the RV.
Nice.
Families in Tucson. Oh, Maurice, how is the wee one doing?
Oh,
We
Sage
have something really
is-
excited to share about.
Yeah, so because of the coronavirus, she was on a waiting list of 200 kids, and she needs three therapy sessions per week. And due to the coronavirus, a lot of people kind of fell out of the waiting list.
Yeah.
And so we got a great phone call about a week.
They didn't catch the virus, by the way. I think it's just they didn't want to go to the therapies because maybe their immune system.
They didn't want to go in, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want to go in. She's
That
going to
sounds a
Johns
little weird.
Hopkins Children's Hospital, which is great. We love the therapists that are working with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing phenomenal. She's talking up a storm. We've gotten a lot of hope. So we are absolutely certain the prayers have all worked.
Yeah.
Since we came out and told you guys back right before Christmas, we did a live and we talked about what we were going through, learning of all this stuff. The prayers, it's almost like somebody turned a switch off right after we did that video, and all the prayers from the RV Odd Squad, just everything's getting better with her, and she's so cuddly and loving and beautiful, and
We're
she's
really
gonna be
good.
just fine. We're blessed.
Yeah. All right. So we're a little bit behind on the questions, but we're gonna get to all of them. We
Yep.
always do. All right. So the next question is, would you go on Route 66 across the North states than South? I hear that you got to be careful with Route 66, but
We
hey,
haven't been that route.
Yeah,
we only
we don't
share
know.
about experiences that we've done. We haven't gone that way. Our RVing experience has been shut down for 6 months to a year until we get Sage the treatments that she needs, and
Yeah.
it's all working out just the way it should have. Right now, we would have been out in the country when this coronavirus hit, so
that would have been scary.
we trust somebody's running things for us, and we're exactly where we're supposed to be. But we don't have experience with Route 66.
I've heard things about it though.
I haven't. I mean, I've heard of Route 66, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay, we got to learn more about that. All right, Carla wants to know, how's the 10K challenge doing with Bob? Any closer? So we are, we've raised some money, but it's
Yeah.
not. I got to look up the total, but
We don't really know the exact total of what we've raised. Some people wrote on when they made the donation or left a note that it was for the RV Odd Squad to credit it there.
Yeah.
We just trust that on their end, on Howie's end, they're tracking all this, and if it gets close to the 10K, we'll get it, because we'd love for Bob to come and
that'd
RV,
be
stay with
hilarious.
us, and we'd love for maybe to go to Arizona or out in the middle of the desert, wherever he is,
Yeah.
to kind of show us a few things. So I at this point, we're guessing that the RV Odd Squad has raised about 4 to 5K. That's
Yeah.
the best guess of what we can see.
based on what we can
Based
see.
on what we can see.
Yeah.
And so, which is amazing. Thank you. How it helps a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of people. And so, we believe Bob helps more people. He gives a lot more than he takes.
Yep. All right, so James Stewart, Jimmy.
Jimmy Stewart. Hey,
Yeah.
Jimmy. I grew up with Jimmy.
Yeah, he's.
We used to hide in the back of Jimmy's Nova. 5 or 6 of us in the trunk when they used to have drive-in movies. That's how old I am, baby. Jimmy used to sneak all us neighborhood kids into the trunk of his car. He'd pay $2 to get in, and then we'd all climb out of the trunk.
All right, Gretchen, have you had any wasps fly in from the slide area in the RV?
We've had super good luck. I mean, our Forest Service seals, the seals are great. We've been in Florida now for 6 months, believe it or not. We don't have any ant problems, which some of our other neighbors do. We don't have any spider problems. Mercedes
Yeah.
is terrified of spiders.
I'm scared of spiders, but ants are good. They bring money, so
Yeah.
you don't want to be like you don't
Ants
want to.
bring money. She doesn't let me kill ants because she thinks they bring money.
They do bring money, so you got to be careful. All right, and then what was another question that we had? Oh, we had a super chat from Brent TV. He said,
Hey, thanks, Brent, for the $2. Thank you,
He
bud.
said, after watching Breaking Bad, I want an RV.
You know what's funny is Mercedes and I love that series. We
Yeah.
binged on it once it came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Breaking Bad was a great series.
Yeah. All right. Are you able to buy directly from Forest River? No,
No.
you can't. But they have a thing if you go on their website that they talk about buying local, and so they. And what's cool is that they have all these brands. They're one of the biggest RV companies.
Well, they are. Forest River makes more RVs than the rest of everyone else combined, guys. They own about 80% of the RV market. And so, you know, we hear people talk about you hear a lot of complaints about Forest River. You really don't when you look at the total numbers, right? And we owned a business ourselves, and you could make 10 people super happy, maybe one will give you a good review.
Yeah.
And then you make 2 people really pissed off, and one of them is definitely going to give you a bad review. And so we've been there. We've seen how they build these things. We've met the families. Isn't it true though?
Yeah, I'm
it's
laughing
like
because Sage is playing
Oh, in the
peekaboo.
background. I thought you
Look,
were laughing
she
at my
keeps-
joke.
No, she keeps showing.
She's looking at herself.
Yeah, she's like, look at me. Oh, that's
So
too
yeah, the
funny.
answer is no. We've had no problems with it.
All right, and then just a friendly reminder, if you can put the questions in caps. Hey guys, I want to get a toy hauler. What do you think? XLR.
XLR,
or
man.
Riverstone has a toy hauler version.
Well, this is where Mercedes and I are right now. So we're already thinking towards the next RV we want, and I want an XLR. They are freaking awesome. And Mercedes wants the Riverstone.
Peekaboo.
And so we'll see how that works out in the end. But I love toy haulers. I love the fact that you can build an office in the back. It just gives you a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things in that area.
All right. So what about RVing during the winter? That is for brave souls, and we're not that brave.
We started out that way last year. We left Florida in December.
Yeah.
Late November.
Who does that?
To go, and we figured because we stayed south in the bottom of the country,
Yeah.
that it would be fairly warm in the south. And last year was one of the coldest winters on record. Not the one that just passed, but a year and a
Yeah.
half ago.
Yep.
And we got snow in Arizona. We got snow in Texas. We got snow everywhere we went.
Yep.
But
You okay?
I personally
Oh,
do
you're
not like
cold.
cold. Anything under 40 degrees.
She
You okay?
jumped on the vent and it hurt her toe.
Oh, you gotta be careful,
Oh,
baby.
my baby toes. My baby toes.
So,
All right.
I'm not big. I don't think Mercedes is cold campers. We like it warm.
Although your son has a wedding in February, and so
Yeah,
we're-
my kid, my son Shano is getting married in February in Colorado, and I'm kind of busting his butt saying, "What are you doing getting married
I
in
know.
Colorado in February?"
We're
So,
like, could you-
and we're not going to drive our RV there, so we'll be dropping in and staying at a hotel or family members.
I kind of want to, and so we're like, could you guys please plan your wedding around us? No, I'm totally kidding, but it was really funny.
Hey, Whale Tail.
All right, which tow program do you suggest? I don't know what a tow program is.
Yeah, tow insurance. So who do we use? We use CoachNet.
Oh yeah,
CoachNet is awesome. We've used them twice since we purchased them, and they've been right there. It's worked out great. And again, you gotta have tow insurance. It's just crazy not to.
Okay, I guess I'm a lot more behind than I thought I was. Just asking for your opinion. Roofs, TPO or EPDM?
I can't. Where's the question?
Right here, Frederick. Roofs, TPO or EPDM?
You have to give me a little bit more.
I have no clue what that
for
is.
roofing. So you're talking about rubber roofing, TPO. I don't know a lot about it. I know that we have a rubber roof on our rig, and we like it. I think it's more important that you get, I think Forest River does, how many years? I think they're doing 9 or 10 year warranties on all their roofs right now.
Yeah.
But every company's a little bit different. For me personally, being in construction, I would go with rubber.
Yeah.
Rubber moves and bends. It's more the sealant you got to be careful of around the extrusions in the roof than the actual roofing itself that you got to be careful of.
All right, so Joe Gons has a question.
Joey Gons, what's up, buddy?
So is there a van in the near future?
We
There's something in the near future.
There's something in the near future because we're locked down here for while Sage gets the treatments that she needs.
But that's all we're gonna say.
That's all we're gonna say. So we've got companies reaching out to us about
That's
vans.
all we're gonna say. That's all we're gonna say.
We're looking into slide-in truck now. What we do know
That's
is
all
we
we're gonna say.
need something
Stop.
so that we can shoot out 3 or 4 days and just kind of get unstuck.
Stop.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, he's such a spoiler.
See? Starting trouble at our house,
I
Joe.
know. It's like, don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, Joshua and Ashley. I turn the news off. I think that's all I want to say about it. Boy, did we get some hate on that video.
We got a lot of good.
Woo!
We got a lot of people telling us to do Route 66. Is it a dangerous route, or are you telling us to do it?
I
because
never heard it
it's
was
beautiful?
dangerous. It's just beautiful. It's
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere.
No,
Yeah.
Jim and Mary, they did the Route 66.
They loved it.
No, she thought she was gonna die because it was like a cliff or something like that.
That was not 66.
Oh, okay.
66, I believe,
They
is through the
loved it.
desert. She was talking about, I think, Route 1 up into Northern California is where they had some trouble.
All right.
Peekaboo.
This nomadic idea question: how often do you stay in budget compared to how often do you go off budget?
Well, you know what's funny, Scott, is we were a little bit over our budget in the first year because we had planned on staying in TT parks the whole year. We only ended up staying in TT parks about 75%. So, and we had that down to under $10 a night when we were using it. And then when we started crossing from Oregon over to Indiana, there's really a big hole of Thousand Trails Park. So we were paying for Passport America. We were using other campgrounds, and you guys know, if you've been doing this lifestyle, campgrounds are expensive. I'd say on average $45 to $50 a night.
Yeah.
And so the best deal out there, you can say a lot of things about Thousand Trails, but Thousand Trails is the best. It's the only game in town. They have no competition.
That's the
If
truth.
you full-time and you want to have hookups,
Yeah.
and you want to save as much money as possible, Thousand Trails is the best way to go. Yes, you're going to deal with some stuff.
Well, if you full time and if you're in the areas where they're located, if
Yes.
you're planning on staying in the center of the country, they're not going to be
It's
that
not
good
going
of
to
a
work
deal.
for you, yeah.
But if you're going to be in that U area,
Yeah,
then
just
it's,
take a look. It's like a big U around the
Yep.
whole country, and
Yep.
there's like spots in them. And so when you do run from certain areas like Florida over to Arizona or Texas, you're gonna have like, you know, more than what we learned in our first year was never to drive more than 3 hours or I think 250 miles.
I like long
That-
drive days.
Well,
but I don't do the driving.
she doesn't do any of the driving.
I think long drive days are awesome, but he's like, by the end of it, he's like, ah.
Yeah, but so you know, there's some big jumps if you look from 1,000 Trails Park to another 1,000 Trails Parks. And what we would do is we use our Passport America
In between.
to get like, you know, one night off for free or half the
Yeah.
price in between for 1 or 2 nights as we were going.
All right, so Hector says hello again, guys.
Hector!
Hello. And then we got Paul says that we're in great hands at John Hopkins. That his daughter went there.
31313, Hector.
Yeah. So Paul, I'm happy to hear that. We don't have anything negative to say about them either.
Hey, Paul Black, can I see Paul Black? Okay.
I just talked about.
Oh,
him.
you did?
Yeah.
I can't do 2 things at once.
I know. Peekaboo Sage. Sage is. I know. Sage was like being the star of the show. She's playing with Legos
She's so
now.
beautiful. We're so blessed.
Yeah.
We're so blessed.
Is there any break-even guidance? We didn't even know enough. When we bought, not happy with the floor plan, but know the depreciation rate is horrid as soon as you drive off the lot. Appreciate
Yeah.
you guys so much.
It's
I
true,
would
Susan.
consider if you're not happy with it, I would go to RV Share and see if you could rent it, and at minimum, if you're not using it, I'm assuming you're not using it. I don't know if you are a full-time RVer, and that's like your home, or if you're a part-time RVer and that's like just recreation. If it's just recreation, I would try renting it out to offset some of that loss.
The cost, yeah. You can get a lot of money for renting them out, but you also have to deal with the risk of who you're renting to.
But it also depends on if it's a towable versus if it's a drivable. Because
Right.
if it's a drivable and you rent it, then you're going to add miles to the drivable and what
It's got
it's
generator,
worth.
you're going to be hours to the generator.
Exactly. So, but that's one thing that I would consider to remove that. But yeah, knowing what I know now, I would say make sure your first RV is used because you're going to change your mind.
Yeah, and if
anyway.
you're going to go used, make sure you hire a professional inspector to
Yep.
check it out, especially if you don't know about RVs. It's worth the money, guys.
All right, so some
I don't
people,
think I ever answered Scotty's question. He asked me
if we'll
about
break the budget.
We broke our first year budget, Scott. I'm sorry, just catching up here.
That's it.
But we're right on budget this year, and we're actually a little bit under budget. We went over in the camping because now we're in one location. But what's interesting is when you do camp in one location for any amount of time, typically more than a month or 3 months, the longer you stay, the price goes down. And camping in Florida in the summertime is super, super cheap. These campgrounds are empty.
And it's super hot.
It's super, super hot. But you do acclimate to that. We you know, and we're actually
Hopefully
considering
we
a
got
freedom.
tans.
Yeah, we should be tanned.
Hopefully.
And we're considering a freedom boat club membership.
Yeah, we're considering a lot of
I just
things.
got hit.
Yes, he does. It's like,
I get
stop,
hit all the time.
don't say that. He likes it. All right. Would you ever consider seasonal RVing instead of full-time? Why did you decide on full-time? I didn't even know seasonal was an option. Oh, hey, Larry. He's president of the France
France section, Larry
chapter
Sirota, yeah.
of the RV Odd Squad.
Dave Graham is telling us it's minus 45 degrees in Colorado. I hope you're not camping.
Yeah. So seasonal RVing is actually a really interesting one. And knowing what we know now, the idea of staying, like if you could enjoy New England in the fall and you could enjoy like Florida in the winter.
Or Indiana in the fall was awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
We loved Indiana.
So if you could just enjoy like certain regions in their best times of year and really get that time to really acclimate it, I would totally consider something like that.
Yeah, remember guys, Mercedes never camped in a tent one night.
Yeah.
Anything.
I slept in a car once.
I've always wanted to live this lifestyle since I was a kid. My first truck had a slide-in camper when I was 18 or 19 years old. And so I actually lived in an RV park right before I went into my 20s. I loved that lifestyle, and so Mercedes had no idea, and I knew. You know, I'm gonna say this. One of the things, the bailout plans for me, for Plan B, was that Mercedes was not gonna like the lifestyle. If we could get out here and then she didn't like the lifestyle, I knew, okay, we got to have a plan B. If she doesn't like this, obviously you don't want to live with a partner that's not happy. Yeah. I mean, especially in an
small
RV.
Space.
Yeah. So that was my biggest fear when we set out RVing, was that Mercedes wasn't going to like it. I knew I was going to love it.
So we have.
She loves it. She loves it.
I really do like it.
If I were to kick the bucket, I know Mercedes would probably be looking at a van.
Yeah, I need something I could drive.
Yes.
Because the idea of learning how to drive this, I don't want to hurt anybody. So
we have thought about a custom build.
Okay, but this question first.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Do you feel it's worth buying
Hi,
into
Judy
Thousand
Plant.
Trails membership to get a discount on rentals? I think it's worth looking into the Thousand Trails membership if you have an RV. As far as the rentals, we found that we never really used them. We had this idea that we'd invite people and get them in the rental and we'd stay in the RV, and that just never really worked out that way.
We bought an Elite mainly because we could camp in a park for 3 weeks before we move. Now the Elite did come with cabins, and it came with an RPI relationship or membership. Now we have used the RPI a couple of times and saved a little bit of money. We've never stayed in a cabin.
Yep, and it looks like I am a little bit off on questions. Okay, I'm close. RV Humor thought I won a motorhome from a scratch-off donut shop ticket, and it said win a bagel. That's funny. Have you guys thought about a custom build?
Yes. Yeah. We got a friend, a member of the RV Odd Squad, who we're considering a van, buying a Sprinter, and letting him actually custom build it out for us. That's one of the options that we're looking at.
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of things because
we love the van. Now we could never live in the van full time.
Yeah.
You know, and then real quick, I thought of something else about Marty. Marty, if you're still here. I think renting an RV for your honeymoon is an incredible idea, especially if it's just the two of you.
Well, it better be just the two of you.
Yeah, go down to the Florida Keys or go somewhere where there's a lot of beach and stuff. And man, you guys, you want to talk about romantic.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I would say yes.
All right. Do you guys know folks that have barn dominiums as a home base, where you consider that?
We have a friend named who is it that has a barn dominium in Georgia? Toys.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think he has a barn dominium, or he's actually considering.
Jason and Amy
taking our toys. Sorry, guys, I'm having horrible brain damage today. But Jason's is one of our friends, and we met them in Virginia. And Jason has some ideas about barn dominiums where, and he might even have one where he actually has all his stuff stored. And he's thinking about having one built where he can pull his fifth wheel in right next to it and kind of connect them for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. So that's something that we really are interested in, is like a piece of property that could handle.
We're looking for a piece of property right now. We just looked at 15 acres.
Yeah.
That can actually hold 5 RVs.
Do you want to look at this property? No. We're in the truck looking at the property.
Yeah.
All right, rooftop tent. I couldn't imagine a rooftop.
I could do a camping Russ. I could definitely do the roofing. I remember I grew up camping. I was a Boy Scout. Never got to Eagle Scout, but I did climb the ranks. I love tent camping. And I used to consider, bringing a blow-up bed when I would tent camp, and some people wouldn't call that tenting, but you can be really comfortable and have a tent and be out in the middle of nowhere.
So why do we call ourselves the odd couple? Well,
we're actually working on a video for that, so that'll be coming out in a little while.
We're a little
completely different.
Yeah,
we're different generationally.
Yep. Well, even just the way we look at life, because he is like very sporadic and spontaneous and impulsive, and I'm more like managerial, like systematic, orderly, you know what I mean? So we're just very different.
So you're driving 80 miles an hour, sweet, 3 hours and 250 miles. No, I haven't driven that fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say how fast I have drone, but my truck, my GMC 3500 pulls our rig sometimes you forget it's back there. It handles it so, and there's been a couple of times where I wasn't paying attention when we got a little bit high on speed, but I try to keep it between 60 and 65.
All right. So, would you ever consider a Class A? Yes, that was our first.
That was our first choice. We were going to go Class A until Mercedes stepped onto a fifth wheel and fell in love with the bunkhouse, because Sage would have her own room. What's interesting is Sage never really slept in that room. That was our very first rig. We have our dream rig right now. We love which one is this? This is the front, the
front
FLOK
kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants you guys to see her Legos. Do you want to show them?
Show them?
Here, let's show them the Legos.
Show them?
So,
come on.
Sage made this. What is this? Is this an airplane or a helicopter?
Hey, Herman Lightdale, thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
we'll buy Sage some Legos
More
with that.
Legos.
She loves Legos.
And
loves. She builds the craziest stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan Willette. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. She likes those a lot. All right, so I kind of lost my place just a little bit. Okay, hi from France. Yeah, so by the way, RV Odd Squad members, we've all decided that we're going to have...
Hey, Menorah 7.
We're all going to have different titles. So we have a president of the Irish chapter.
Don't start this again.
Yes, it's really funny. We should all have a name. Like, we could be commander-in-chief.
You're the only one that thinks your jokes are funny, babe.
No, that's not true. That's not true, because everyone came up with names for themselves. And the more odd, the better, I think, the name. Like, president of this, commander of that, Viking explorer. Like, you should, by your region. All right, gosh, so many good tips today. Josh and Ashley are writing a lot. That's awesome. All right, thank you so much. Hadn't thought of renting it out.
Bond2198, love you too. Thank you for all the support, you guys.
Yeah.
We've decided this year that we're going to focus on the RV Odd Squad and helping as many people as we possibly can, kind of getting back to our roots, and so we decided to do this live a little differently than we've done them in the past.
So a lot of
RV Butterfly, what's up?
So a lot of people are saying that Route 66 is absolutely beautiful. Chip just said that he quit his job so that he could watch this.
Chip bought. She got fired, eh? Don't worry, I hear they're paying more money for unemployment than there is for work.
Stop it. Don't say anything more. Don't say anything more. Okay, see, Karina says he's saying too much again. LOL.
I know.
Yeah.
You should have saw the hateful emails we got.
All right. Hey, Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventure.
Hey, what's up, Bob and Tam, Arizona?
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Yep.
Yeah, we need to chat with you guys on the phone.
Susan Willette, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate that. Sage is going to be getting a lot of toys. One of the cool things that I got to do when Mercedes and I can't be in these therapy sessions with Sage, and so
both of us,
only one of us can be in there at a time, and I'm going in and I'm amazed by it and watching what they're doing. And what's really cool about it is it's helping me learn how to help Sage. And I think that was the scariest part about the autism, is not knowing what we should do, how we could best help her, and overwhelm her. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, look, we even got an emoji.
But I get to go in with Sage, and they're telling me different toys that are going to help her. So last week, every time I go out to the store now, I got my mask, I got my sanitizer.
Toys for her.
Right, and I bring her toys all the time now. But they're learning toys. Don't break the ice, and the fishing game where you hold the fishing rod and the little fish spin around and open up. That's helping her with her coordination and having a lot of fun.
So one question that I missed, and I apologize, but I just remembered it, is do you have any other shirts? No.
I do.
No. He
I
has
do.
no other shirts. He's only allowed one shirt.
I've got 5 of these, and I actually have to order some more of them. And then when I don't do this show, I usually have what,
He
3 or 4
wears no
t-shirts.
shirt,
I've
'cause
got
he's
some
not
golf
allowed
shorts.
any
I'm actually
clothes.
considering going out and playing golf next week with a good friend of mine down here. We're also blessed because another friend has a house right on the beach in Florida, and so we haven't had to go to the public beach when we got to spend Easter on a private beach, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Herman.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. And
Thank you, Gretchen B.
Yeah.
You guys, this is all money for Sage, right?
Yeah, this is all for Sage. We're gonna have so many Legos.
Good, because I think I spent $200 in her last week.
Oh, Lisa, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Lisa Haas.
Look, that's
Thank
for
you.
you,
I
Sage.
love it.
That's
Sage,
for
did
you.
you see that?
Did
Look
you
at
get to
look
see
at this
that?
one.
Did you get to see that?
Want to come sit?
Those
Wanna
are
come
for
sit?
you.
Come
Those are
here.
for you for your Legos. By the way, speaking of Legos, have you stepped on a Lego recently?
Oh
'Cause
my
I sure have.
God.
Let's see. Remember, John, any
Look
man
at-
that says he's
look
the
at-
boss is either lying or divorced. Oh, that's funny. That's too funny.
Actually believe I'm the most blessed man on the planet. I am such a lucky guy to have everything that I have.
I don't
And to be living this lifestyle, this is a dream. We love the RV lifestyle. And we're so excited just to get on to the next chapter, you know?
Yeah, that's for sure.
We're really looking forward to moving out.
Do we run an auxiliary fuel tank on the truck? No, but he
we
wants
thought
to.
about it, but I got my 2 generators. And so I've got 2 Champion generators that slip up in the front of the truck. Just ahead, there's just enough room there for where my 5th wheel hitch is in the bed. And so I did consider that, but and then the one time that I carried a generator in the back, we got a video on it. I put it in the back basket of the RV because we were only going a few hours, and it got stolen or it fell out. It disappeared.
Yeah. All right. Well, Peter. Well, the other things didn't fall out, so that's
Because
fine.
the auxiliary
for
gas
you.
tank is a big deal.
That's for you, Sage. Peter.
Peter,
We want to
say
thank you so
Peter,
much.
Bob and Tim,
Yeah.
thank you.
We really want to thank you, and we need to talk to them on the phone.
Yeah.
So.
What was really cool about the auxiliary tank, fuel tank, is that when you have a huge rig, it's not so easy to find gas stations, especially when you're in areas that you're not familiar with. So, I did like that idea, but I chose generators for that spot instead.
Okay, I just want to take a moment to show that I'm right, okay? Because Ron says, "Can I be sergeant of arms
Ron.
of RV Odd Couple humor, please?"
See the trouble you're
See?
starting here, Ron?
See?
What are you doing?
See? It's like I'm not the only one.
And the
that
answer
thinks
is
this
yes.
funny.
Yes, you.
So it is.
So it is.
Or wait, what is
What?
when you get knighted? What do you say? We need to find something official, but like a proclamation, and it's like there you go. And we need RV Odd Squad membership cards where you can write in your silly
Yeah.
label, and then very official, very official.
Oh, quick update, guys. We have been working on a private social media site. We're actually testing out 3 different forms of it right now, and we're seeing what's going to work best for us. We like some things about some of them, and other things we don't like about them. But we will be sending that information out fairly soon because we want just one platform to talk to the RV Odd Squad members. Especially, it's like a lot of the people that are here today in this chat, we know you.
Yeah.
We know who you are, and we want that as a private community where we can go a little bit deeper in sharing what's going on, where we're at, do meetups with, and we don't want to do that publicly. It's just it can be somewhat dangerous. So we're looking to slowly build that community soon.
So one thing, Captain Obvious said, "Love you guys. How do I get something to you in the mail for these times?" P.O. Box. Yeah, just shoot us an email,
Shoot us an email.
@gmail, and then we'll send you our address.
Yeah.
So it has been decided we are either going to do proclamation, conversation, confirmation, or so it is, so it shall be.
No, let's just do this. If you agree on, what was it, Ron?
Yeah,
If you agree that Ron is going to be the what?
Sergeant of Arms of RV Odd Couple Humor.
Okay, RV Odd Couple Humor. Let's give an I.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, just type I.
Yeah.
Or nay, and we'll vote. So is Ron? Is he funny?
No,
if he
Yeah, because if he's not funny, this is
if he's
gonna
not funny,
work
this
out.
is not the title for him.
Yeah, and look at all the eyes. That's too funny.
All right, looks like 100% up. There's an I. Donna
Yeah,
Murray.
I-
Boozer 77. Freddie Flintstone. I know you
I
instead
don't
of
see
Angie
any
Mack.
names.
Camping Russ again. Captain Obvious. Chip Bot. I see Chip Bot a lot in the
I
comments.
don't see any
Yeah, and we've actually we're behind
I
in the
didn't.
comments again, guys.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So let's see. There was look into a saddle tank, the mount along the frame, and the sight dad had one in the green. I don't know what this says.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, I'll call you Jimmy. Jimmy is the guy that taught me. You know, when you first go into a fifth wheel and you can't see and you're driving a big trailer behind you, Jimmy told me that one of the easiest way to back up is just to drop your hand to the bottom of the wheel, right? So when you're driving forward, you want to go left, you go left. Yeah. Well, if you just, when you're backing up, just drop your hand straight to the bottom. And if you want to go to the butt end of the rig to go to the left, then you turn it that way. So when you drop your hand straight down, you move it this way, your butt will move that way. If you go this way, your butt will move that way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
I'll call you on that saddle tank.
All right. Did you think about becoming a local mobile tech? John is very carpentry, but he's not very electrical.
I'm carpentry. Jimmy, my friend Jimmy Stewart, he would be the tech guy. He was the guy that liked cars and. But I'm a carpenter. There's nothing I cannot do on building a house. I built multifamily housing projects. I built $1 million homes for some Denver Broncos athletes. But I'm not very good when it comes to mechanical stuff.
All right, so it looks like
we're about it.
Did we catch up on questions?
I think
Guys,
so.
Did I miss your question?
Yeah, if we missed your question, just put it in one more time. This is last call.
Yeah. Because one of the things that we do really like getting to all the questions, and I like this live format because I feel like it's a good opportunity to connect with you guys. Because when we do a video, it's like we talk to you.
Right.
But in this one, it's more live and we get to talk
and
together.
if you can please give us your suggestions on you found helpful tips with building a budget.
Yep.
We take a lot of the information we get from the
Good
comment
job.
section. We build videos with those. So
yeah, you guys are running the ship a lot more than you realize.
Yeah.
Yep. So how's Sage doing? She's doing really good.
Great time to buy a truck, Riff.
Oh yeah, they called us and they're like, you need a
Hey, you
oil
need to bring
change.
your truck in for an oil change. I got the 2018 and I'm really interested in the 2020 with the 10-speed Allison transmission, the GMC. Really interested in that, but we'll see what they have to offer.
Yeah, and it was funny. He's like, do you want me to connect you to sales? I'm like, that's the last thing I want to do. I have no desire to talk to a salesperson.
Donna
right
Murray,
now.
Sage is doing fantastic. We talked to her a little bit about her earlier in the video.
Ooh, good question. Realistically, how long do your batteries last with a residential fridge?
About 16 hours.
Yeah, not quite a day.
About 16 hours. And of course, it depends on how many times you open the fridge. Some people will tell you that if you don't open the fridge, you don't even need to turn your inverter on to pull off the batteries when you're moving. Because if the fridge stays closed, they do make them highly efficient now. And so if you don't open your fridge doors, it's going to stay cold a lot longer.
Did we reach out to Gretchen and say thank you?
Gretchen V, thank you so much.
I don't remember if we said thank you,
Yeah.
so I'd rather say thank you twice than not say it at all.
Yeah, Todd Alexander. She's Sage is either going to be an engineer or a scientist for sure.
So Angie's talking about wanting to buy a used fan with the stimulus checks, mini RV.
I would highly suggest that you take any money from the stimulus and you put it in the bank. My guess is that things are gonna get somewhat rough.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Over the next year. I'm pretty certain of it. I think things will bounce back, and then things are good. Well, I think we're in for some hard times, guys. So save your peanuts.
All right, so we had a super chat, but I don't know how you say this.
Jean
Liliopatra.
Colara.
Liliopatra, like Cleopatra, but Liliopatra.
Oh, hey, Liliopatra.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So this person.
Hey, Jimmy Graham.
Gulf,
California.
Pearl Summer. Who likes Sage's games better, Sage or John? He's the kid. He's like, she needs a toy car.
Yeah,
She
I'm
really
20
needs
years
it.
older than Mercedes, but she's definitely more mature than I am.
I'm both of their moms. It's like, I really am his mom. Sometimes I feel like I'm his mom. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
A Patricio. I almost said Patricio. Double A Patricio. Thank you.
All right, guys, so we hope this video was helpful. Again, if you can give it a thumbs up, we'd really appreciate that. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions for any newbies out there. It's nice to see that a couple of our people considering are really taking notes. It's so important that you do a budget. It's so important that you build lists. And it's so important that you take the time to do the research needed to consider this lifestyle. Just don't jump in.
We have something really important to talk about. Where are the powdered donuts? Mama's on a diet.
Mama's
where
on a
they
diet. When Mama's on a diet, we're
Everyone's
all
on a diet.
man.
Building question. If I had a leak, can I replace drywall with Duroc in case it leaks again?
I would always go Duroc over drywall. Drywall, I mean, is just it's gonna just get mold, and so use Duroc or some type of a cement board. And they actually make another one that, and I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head because I haven't been doing it for 6 years. It's a lot lighter than Duroc, but it's completely mold free.
All right, and then let's see. Did you put solar on top of your RV? Not yet. It's
Not yet.
pre-wired for solar.
It's
so
completely
we're trying to work on that.
pre-wired for solar, and we're working with a company right now about that.
And then John can be commander-in-chief of the Shirt
The
Club.
shirt club.
All in favor, say aye.
I don't think so. We've
Yes.
never sold
Yes.
one of these shirts, guys.
Yes. Well, we haven't asked. We haven't. tried
Oh,
to sell
Michael
one of them.
Miller. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Trucker from Nebraska. Truckers have kept this country going. Thank you so much, Michael.
Wow. You know, and
Miller. God bless you, man. Thank
Yeah,
you. We'll put that towards Seiji.
yeah, you know, I don't think people realize that every single item in their house is thanks to a trucker.
Yeah.
Every single thing.
And we
that,
love truckers. It's funny when we boondocked a couple
Wow.
nights in in trucker parking lots on the side of the road, and we wouldn't even run out of respect for them. We wouldn't even run our generators at night because we didn't want to bother them. We knew they were working.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of people say, "Man, don't worry about that. Just run your generator. They don't care." Well, some might.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people don't realize it, but when you're in the road, as much as we were traveling, you have just so much respect and appreciation for truckers. And the reality is that when we were driving at night and we were kind of like all by ourselves, the only other people on the road were the truckers.
Yeah, and these truckers spend 20, 30 years driving all over the country, but they never really get to stop and look. You know what I mean? And I think that's why so many truckers are so interested in the RV lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go back to those places and actually kind of take their time through there rather than just working through it.
Yeah, Michael Miller, I just give you our email. Give us an email address.
Yeah.
Give us your email address.
Yep, we'll give you an email address and
Shoot us an email and say hi.
yeah, if you want an address of where we're at right now, just shoot us an email. Shoot us an email that you want that address, and we'll give you guys
Yeah.
that address.
But Michael,
we
thank
don't
you
like
so
posting our address publicly.
much. Yeah, we've
So,
done that before.
It's one of the biggest reasons we're trying to build our own social media platform.
Yeah, we've done that before.
Thank you, Linda J. Thank you so much. Gretchen
Yeah.
V. Thank you so much.
A lot
Debbie
of love
Riddle.
for-
I know Debbie Riddle.
A lot of love for truckers too.
Yep. Truckers rock. They're-
Isn't it ironic?
You know, it's like the last of the middle class.
Nick Montero.
Nicky.
Oh, just had his birthday.
Yeah, he's my godson.
Yeah. He just had his birthday. Did you call him on his birthday?
I didn't, but I sent you a Facebook message, Nick. I hope you got it. You got it.
This has been like not a good year for John on birthdays.
Yeah, something's going on with John's brains lately, guys. Starting to worry.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey,
Darlene,
there's my baby,
welcome.
Miss Kenzie Richmond. That's my daughter.
Yeah, she's like the.
My beautiful Mackenzie, my oldest.
We still call her the youngest. but
My
she's-
oldest daughter.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter. I've got a son who just turned 30 years old. My son Johnny,
Yeah.
April 11th, just turned 30 years old. That's how fast it goes, guys. And so the perspective of having Sage was born on my 50th birthday. Sage and I share the same birthday, and so she's been such a blessing because I do things with the whole
The oldest-
perspective of kids has changed because I know how fast it goes. And so I do things now with Sage that I didn't get to do with the first three. With the first three, I was worried about making the money, and never home. And with this one, I get to kind of be there every day with her. So I love you, Kens.
Your godson just called you a jerk because you forgot his birthday.
Oh,
burn,
hey, you
burn.
misspelled jerk. That kid doesn't have too many brains in his head, guys.
That's so bad.
No, you didn't. I'm kidding. I made you look, Nick.
Oh, hey, Ron.
Hey,
okay,
thank
to
you,
help
Ron Evans.
John, the commander-chief of the Shirt Club, you got to get a red shirt. That's going towards a red shirt.
A red shirt?
Can it be pink?
No pink.
Ooh, pink.
I don't care. I don't care.
He needs a red shirt. Oh, that's too funny. He does have other shirts. I just don't like to give him
I
credit
love you
for
too,
his
Nikki
other
Montero. I
shirts.
love you, man.
Oh, yeah, pink. All in
Hope
favor?
the kids are all good. We're hoping to see you soon. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see you at the Shado's wedding next year. That would be cool in Colorado.
It's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
That's funny. You're
Carrie Ann Holmgren. I know Carrie Ann. Let's
Like
see who
from-
else is here. Michelle Johnson. Hey, Michelle.
Ooh.
Karen.
Everyone wants him to wear a pink shirt. I think that's pretty
Carrie
cute.
Ann Holmgren. Who else? I mean, It's so cool. Marissa, I don't have the brains to talk, and I can't do more than 2 things at once, but it's kind of cool for me to go through here and see people.
Yeah.
Who's here? Todd Alexander, Rick W. Thank you. You know, thanks to all you guys. Michael Miller, Rick W.
Yeah.
Gus Paca. I know Gus.
Darlene,
Yeah.
Well, that's
Cajun Man 99. We love you too, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Cajun Man.
The RV Odd Squad taught us how to RV in our first year, and on the down days, one of the things, you know, a lot of other channels talk about how there's no way we can keep up with the comments. The comments have saved our butts some days.
Yeah.
Just talking with you guys and having that,
Well,
it gets us out of ourselves,
Yeah.
you know, and you share a lot of what's going on in your lives with us. And it gets us out of ourselves, and it gets us into being grateful. So,
Yeah, and
Darlene Markle, hey Darlene.
it makes us feel less alone.
She just joined. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, so I'd like to buy the blue shirt. Okay, maybe we should do you want his blue shirt, or do you want like a new
You don't want
blue
one
shirt?
of mine. I get stains here, and I've been using these things for 15 months now. And that should prove to you guys, hey, just an idea. This polyester stuff is fantastic for camping. It dries out super fast. It's good. If you're going to camp, you don't want to have a lot of t-shirts because they get so freaking wrinkly.
Yeah. Todd just asked, do we still have a storage unit? We do, and we still have to organize it.
Kenzie, I don't know if you can see, but Nikki's saying he loves you. I don't know if you
No,
can see him in the
she's
chat.
saying that she loves Nick.
No.
Oh, he said he loves
just
her
said,
first.
yeah, I know
Oh,
what
because
he
she
says.
just said that they're good. They're
It's
talking.
just a love
They're
fest
kids.
going on
They're
here.
kids. They're fine. They they're talking to each other.
Rick W. We talked about the fundraiser a little bit earlier. This will all be on a replay, guys, if you want to go back and look at it.
Yeah. Do y'all have?
We're guessing it's
YouTube-
around 4 or 5K. That's what we're guessing it's at.
Yeah. Do y'all have a YouTube video of your favorite RV apps? No, because we don't like any apps like 100%.
Yeah, the apps that we tried, we didn't really like that much. So, but we will be doing a video on apps, the ones we do use
Yeah.
soon.
Does it breathe? The shirt. Yes, it's like
It depends on the day.
it's no, not
Depends on
does
the
it
day.
smell? Does
Oh.
it breathe?
Oh, it breathes. You can see it.
Does it smell?
Cindy Dominguez. My
My-
10-year-old comes to get me when you guys post and we sit.
Aw.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's why we cleaned our language up.
Yeah.
It was so funny. We were about 9 months in, and I don't cuss very often, but in a couple videos I did cuss.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call from a lady in the RV Odd Squad. Do you remember her name?
Oh yeah, she's in his phone as Potty Mouth.
Yeah, I named her as Potty Mouth because
It's
she called me
Jay,
a Potty
but we
Mouth. Her
call her
name's
Pot-
Jay.
Potty
And
Mouth.
Jay says to me, listen, my grandson loves watching it. Can you watch her mouth? And I said, absolutely.
We
So I haven't
felt
said a
so
cuss
bad.
word, and we're lucky because we get to edit these videos.
Yeah.
Not the lives, but
Yeah.
typically we can edit our videos. So I really do try to watch my mouth and show respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
guys,
wow.
I think we are closing the doors. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming in and supporting
This
us.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're actually considering doing this every other week right now. But
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, glad
We'll see
you
how it
didn't
goes.
charge
To
us.
all of you who gave money to us in Sage, we
Yeah.
super
We
appreciate
don't
it.
expect it, but we really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's we're grateful for it.
Yeah. If there is anything that we could do to better
Thanks, Todd.
serve you guys, let us know what we
Yeah,
can
what
do.
videos are you looking for? Like what the two that were just there?
The apps?
The apps. The two people that are thinking about the lifestyle. They've been taking notes during this whole
Josh
thing.
and Ashley.
Josh and
They've
Ashley.
been really
yeah.
active today.
Yeah, anything you guys need, shoot us an email. We really do look to the RV Odd Squad. Every video we do, we really try to come from a place of helping somebody. And what we're really blessed at is that the RV Odd Squad behind us will answer questions we can't. And we never try to answer questions we don't know the answer to. So the RV Odd Squad knows that stuff.
Yeah, we'll tell you how not to do it.
Yeah. Well, actually, we're getting pretty good at RVing by this point. It took a little while, but we're getting pretty good at it now.
That's too funny.
All right, Dion Buzo. Yoli Lacey, I know Yoli.
Yeah.
Jackie DeHaan. Leo St.
This is
James,
awesome.
Larry. Love you too, Larry.
Okay, more hints on.
Larry's been chasing us around, I think, about a year now.
Yeah.
Karen, Debbie T, Charlene Sipes. I wish I could say every single one of your names, but can't. And okay, guys, we're gonna close this up. We'll see you next time.
Guys, we really appreciate everything.
We really love you guys.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.